Another migrant caravan reportedly on its way to America, but the Biden administration is claiming Republicans are causing the crisis.
We would argue that for all of those Republicans who are standing at the border and giving speeches about how broken the system is, why don't you join us and be a part of the solution instead of relying on speeches? Because we can work together and get immigration reform passed and make the system work and make it operational. We haven't seen any willingness or appetite to do that. All we've seen is speeches and talking points to date.
Joining me now is National Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd. Good morning to you, Brandon.
Good morning. It's always good to speak with you, Ainsley.
Well, always good to have you on. Are Republicans causing this crisis?
No, in fact, the Republicans had it fixed. If you look back at President Trump, and what's funny about what he did is he actually created the will. It's not like he just went and grabbed from other policies. He put in place policies that we had never seen before, and they absolutely worked. The Democrats came in, they dismantled every single thing that we were doing, which caused this problem. They reintroduced the catch and release magnet, and that's the reason why we have caravan after caravan. It's tsunami after tsunami of people that are entering this country illegally.
If you look at the numbers, the Haitian migrants processing status, 12,400. They have their cases to be heard by immigration judges, 5,000 being processed by DHS, 3,000 are in detentions. What do all these terms mean, and how do they determine who goes to what category?
There's actually very little rhyme or reason to how they're making these determinations or decisions. When you look at the number of people that are crossing the border illegally and the numbers that are being released, we are releasing upwards of 60 to 70% of the people that cross the border illegally. And anytime you do that, you're sending the clear message that if you violate our laws, you will actually be rewarded instead of being given a consequence. When they violate the laws, they're then eligible for work permits, driver's licenses, send their children to school, social benefits, all of these different things, and it's strictly because they violated the law. And that's the wrong message to send, because if the first act of coming to the United States is to violate the laws, then why would you ever think that any other law is important here in this country? And without the rule of law, we become no better than the countries these people are fleeing from.
And the message is hypocritical. They're saying if you come, we're going to send you back. But out of the 30,000 Haitians since September 9th, we have sent back 2,000. So where are those other 27,000, Brandon?
They've been released throughout the United States. They go to Middle America. They go to the East Coast. They stay in the West Coast at some points. They're spread out throughout the United States. Anywhere that they think they can find a job, they will go. But we've got to remember that words mean absolutely nothing. Actions is what people listen to. And this administration's actions are screaming to the cartels to go out and advertise their services throughout the world to get people to come to this country illegally. We know the reasons that they're doing it. It's all about politics, and unfortunately they're putting the safety and security of the American public behind the benefits of what they think is their re-election prospects. And that of course is insane.
Real quickly, is there a way to track them and then make them, I don't know, do we make them citizens so they can contribute tax-wise?
No, we don't make them citizens, and there's very little way to track them, because if they give us an address that's a false address, there's no way for us to find them. And under prosecutorial discretion, this administration doesn't let us go after those individuals that don't show up to their court appearances. It's crazy right now what we're seeing. It's just never been done.
You say catch and release is back on steroids. Brandon Judd, thank you so much.